welcome back to Miami, the scene of Biscayne Bay at night, and we're not that far away at the Miami Arena as we're set to go with tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. And here are the starting lineups brought to you by Circuit City. Ron Harper and Michael Jordan, the guards. Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, and Dennis Rodman up front. For the Miami Heat, Tim Hardaway and Sasha Danilovic in the backcourt. Dan Marley, Alonzo Mourning, and Kurt Thomas up front. Phil Jackson coaching the Bulls, and Pat Riley for the Heat. Between them, they have won 8 world championships. You will never see a more prominent matchup of head coaches, Hubie. 8 titles, 4 apiece.
And with distinct styles of play. With Pat Riley, showtime. Fast break game, get it up, and the opposite end with the Chicago Bulls, the triangle offense, everything methodical, take your time, very few fast breaks.
And as you saw, Pat Riley chalking up his 800th career victory in their last victory at Indiana. The Heat in white, the Bulls are in their red. Longley will jump center against Alonzo Mourning. Ronnie Nunn, Bill Spooner, and Tommy Wood are the officials working tonight's game. Capacity crowd here in Miami. Last year, the Bulls took 3 out of 4 in the regular season before sweeping the Heat 3 straight in the first round of the playoffs. Controlled by Chicago. Harper is guarded by Tim Hardaway, and going to be the straight matchup. There's posting up. Danilovic is guarding Michael Jordan. Turn around, and Jordan puts the Bulls up.
Now, Dick, you cannot play Michael any better than that. Danilovic extended, even got a piece of that shot.
Jordan, 30 points in the opener, 27 and then 22 points. So he is picking up where he left off as Marley misses a 3. Loose ball into the hands of Jordan. This team does not have position players, really. It's wings and guards when you look at it.
Well, they run the offense. They do it well. The offense is built that everyone gets a chance to do their thing.
Harper controlling 9 on the shot clock. Now it's Longley, low post against Mourning. Good feed inside to Jordan. The basket, good, and a foul.
Anytime that you allow them to pass the ball directly into the post person, you're asking for trouble. They either backdoor you from the corner, or in this case, keep an eye on Jordan. As Luke leads to the right, you can see he just ran without the ball. Now Danilovic that time was thinking that Jordan was going to come back out off a double screen.
Danilovic with his foul, the first one, and Jordan now has 5 points, and the Bulls lead it 5-0 with less than a minute gone by.
Main thing now with Miami, you can see the power game is get it in the morning and hope that he can get on the line.
Turnaround baseline, Mourning misses, and Dennis Rodman grabs the rebound. Rodman has been a rebounding king again. He has averaged nearly 12.5 rebounds of his first 2, and then he had a big game in his last one. Here is the fast break. Hardaway. Harper trying to get a piece of it, and the Heat are on the scoreboard.
And we have 2 excellent defensive teams here tonight. They're both right in the top 3, fewest points, low shooting percentages against, but they are both forcing 20 turnovers a game by the opposition.
So this should be a relatively low-scoring game. Michael Jordan coming out and is 3 for 3 from the field and has scored the first 7 Bulls points.
Anything for Miami, slow things down right now, get high percentage shots. You must get some second shots in this ballgame.
Thomas trying to get the pass into Hardaway, breaking for the basket, but it's a leg block and a new 24-second clock for the Miami Heat. The Heat last year won 42-40, but to get there, they had to perform brilliantly down the stretch, winning 18 of their last 29.
They did a terrific job, Dick. But then again, you remember they ran 22 players through their building during the course of the season. Only 5 of them remain today.
So the continuity factor was a little shaky for Miami last year. Mourning leaves it out for Danilovic for 3. He's got it. Sasha Danilovic from Serbia, who averaged nearly 13.5 a year ago.
Now this is a big 3-point shooting team. They are leading the league in attempts this year with 23 a game.
2.5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. The Chicago Bulls leading 7-5. Here's Scottie Pippen's first shot of the game, and Rodman gets the offensive board.
Well, he led the league last year in offensive rebounding at close to 6 a game, and he did it again at playoff time. 6 a game.
Jordan pulls up and finally misses a shot. and controlled inside by Kurt Thomas. A very fine second-year player, and a great feed inside to Mourning. Thomas known for his defensive exploits, but showed a great pass after filling the lane.
We're talking 6'9", 245, handled the ball, and then the delivery of the pass. Beautiful.
So Mourning gets the basket. 3 different Heat players have scored, and we're tied at 7. Here is Jordan, gets 3, and Michael Jordan now with 9 points. All 9 of the Bulls' points off the hand of Michael Jordan.
That was Michael Jordan at his best, reading the defense. The defense cheated on a double screen.
Thomas setting a screen for Danilovic, who will go to the hoop against Longley, and a fine play. Left-handed lay-in by Danilovic.
Well, you're happy to see him back. He missed 62 games last year with a broken right hand. He is a tremendous high-percentage shooter.
Originally a second-round draft pick from Golden State, played in Europe for 3 years. And here's Ron Harper, wild with a three-point attempt, but Rodman with another offensive rebound. He has 3 boards so far. Harper throws up an air ball. He is way off in the early going as Ron Harper. Hardaway leaves it for Danilovic. Open in the corner, Mourning. He threw up an air ball, but Thomas is fouled and goes right at her, Rodman. We may expect some of this tonight.
Yeah, well, you see, Thomas is a bull. He is a quality defensive player. Pat Riley said one of the best in the league at power forward. And he has the size and strength and quickness that he's not going to take any guff off of Rodman. Give Rodman his due. Rodman has already picked up 2 offensive rebounds in this game, and that's probably itching at Thomas.
Now, when these teams played in the playoffs last year, Alonzo Mourning was thrown out of the game, ejected in game 1, and fouled out in game 2. So there's some bad blood between these 2 teams, and the Heat claimed that the Bulls laughed in their faces when they swept them last year.
Yeah, and all of the players were quoted this week in the Miami papers saying that they didn't mind losing, but during the course of the game, the talking was there, and they should have been hit with technical fouls. They were not. The league stepped back. So they all, really have a little chip on their shoulder. Keep an eye right down there, right in the middle, right there. You're going to see Rodman. There they are right there. There's a grab from behind, and then Rodman comes with the elbow, and you can definitely see why Thomas went right in his face.
Double technical foul called against both Dennis Rodman and Kurt Thomas. Thomas hits the free throw to give the Heat their first lead of the game.
Now let me ask you a question. You're Thomas right now. Rodman gives you a shot.
Can I answer this question?
Are you going to stand and not come in his face? No, he didn't hit him. He didn't hit him. So why is he getting a double technical?
Because they always catch the second guy.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything. You see, he got in Rodman's face. So to me, right now,
maybe if they're sending a message.
Yeah, of course. Have you been around this league? Is this your first year on these games?
Couple of weeks. That's all. Ball away by Jordan. He turned around as the ball was in the air. He knew it was through, and Michael Jordan, 5 for 6, ties the game at 11, and Jordan has scored all of Chicago's 11 points. So he's off to a sizzling start tonight. Turnaround by Mourning, and he hits, and the Heat lead 13-11, off to a good start in this game, both teams.
Miami needs Mourning. He's their inspirational guy. He's got to get it to them. Also, he must get on the foul line and get fouls on the front line.
They go to Longley, working against Alonzo Mourning. They feel they can work on Mourning. And Luke Longley spins his way in, and Longley gets his first points of the game, and that is the first Chicago basket by a player other than number 23.
That was a beautiful spin move by Longley in the pivot.
Marley for 3 off the front rim, and Harper the rebound. Pippen brings it out. Heat back defensively with 6:48 to go in the first. Tight game throughout. We're even at 13.
It's a clear out.
Danilovic already has fouled Jordan. Pulls up. That didn't go for him. Mourning the rebound. Hardaway to nice. Great pass to Kurt Thomas, and he's fouled going in.
Oh, you could see that one right in front of us. A beautiful pass by Marley, and let's give Thomas a lot of credit. He was huffing and puffing and filling that lane.
Second-year player from TCU, off to a good start himself.
Last year, and then when I clutched that ball without my father being around and the support system, which was normal for me, it kind of capped off an unbelievable 15 months. In that process, a lot of things have happened, and I'm just happy to be back at basketball. I have a whole new understanding for the game and where I stand in the game, and I think a lot of that has to do with my maturity as a person before a basketball player.
Michael Jordan, who really is the symbol of this game right now, and a gentleman. You remember we talked about Julius Erving being the ambassador of the game. He has succeeded Julius in that regard.
He carries himself so well, Dick, and you know, since he has come back, during that month of March, the last 17 games of the season, the playoffs, and then last season, they are 46-3 in their building since his return. He was not satisfied in the playoffs last year. Tendinitis gave him a problem in the Seattle series, so he's worked 4 hours a day this summer to get his weight down so he'll play between 5 to 8 pounds lighter than he did a year ago.
And he wants another title, and if they stay healthy and focused, forget about the 72 wins. They're not even looking at win total this year. And they're healthy, as you mentioned, going into April. They've got to be the big favorites. Tony Kukoc has come into the game for the Bulls. He's their sixth man, replacing Dennis Rodman. The last foul, by the way, was on Harper. The Heat lead by 1, 14-13. Kukoc with a good pass into Pippen. Triple team. Good D on Pippen inside, but he's working on Marley, and he is determined. Scottie Pippen with a short jumper, and the Bulls now lead by 1.
Excellent move. There's a guy, his initial move was defended perfectly by Marley, but then he still has more game.
Marley is left open by Kukoc for three. He missed it. He was at the top of the key, but the ball comes out in the hands of Kurt Thomas. Hardaway for three, and he misses. Mourning is fouled by Longley or Pippen going in, but the Heat trying a lot of threes. They keep firing away from outside. Fouls on Pippen.
See, we're going to give you a good look here. See, Marley's allowed to put that forearm in the back. See, Pippen gives him 3 moves. Marley was with him every time. But then any time that you have size on a defender and you throw that fadeaway with any kind of a rainbow arc, you're in business.
That was an air ball thrown by Mourning. And that's got to be the most embarrassing thing any player can do. And Mourning turns his head in embarrassment. So Mourning with another shot here. He has led the Heat in scoring in the first 2 games. 7th in the NBA with over 23 points last year. And 8th in rebounding and block shot leader at only 6'10". He is not a giant among giants in the game.
He led the NBA in foul shot attempts last year at 10.2 a game. That is an incredible statement because he's giving away size every single night.
Tied at 15. Scottie Pippen short with a turnaround, and Thomas and Mourning battles for the loose ball. Comes down to the hands of Thomas.
Dick, in the early going, Thomas doing yeoman's work underneath.
5 rebounds. Hardaway missed, and the basket's going to count. Alonzo Mourning with the follow-up. And the Heat lead 17-15 and a chance to open up a 3-point lead.
Now in the first 6.5 minutes, you can see that Miami is getting the advantage every time that they push. Here's a good look that time by Timmy Hardaway, and he takes the center to him, opening up Mourning. They must continue to push. This is their type of tempo.
Ron Harper with his 2nd personal foul. And Mourning now with 8 points. Jordan with 11 tops Chicago, and the Heat are up by 3 with 5:20 remaining in the first quarter.
Remember, you have to remember, Chicago played at home last night and then traveled. Got into Miami at about 3:30. Everyone went to bed about 4 a.m.
Kukoc over Thomas, and the rebound by Marley. The Heat with a very fine first quarter, and as we say it, Hardaway overthrows Thomas out of bounds. We haven't had many turnovers so far in this first quarter.
No, it's been nice. Thomas called for that. Timmy just made a bad pass.
Each team has 1 turnover, so it's about as been as minimal as you could expect. Here's Longley working out of that triangle offense. Jordan shooting over Marley, and he misses. Jordan was red hot early. He's missed a few lately. Rebound by Thomas. That's his 6th board of the game, and we still have 4:38 to go in the first.
Marley's had 4 open looks on 3-point shots so far. He and Danilovic will be open all night long, but they've got to hit some type of a percentage.
This is a 2-point shot by Hardaway, and Hardaway now with his 2nd basket, and it's a 5-point Miami lead with less than 4:20 remaining in the first quarter. The Heat are on a 6-0 run now against maybe a fatigued Bulls team at this point. Here's Pippen, goes up, blocked by Mourning. And Mourning, who was 5th in the league in block shots last year, wide open. Danilovic for the moment. And Thomas from the corner. How out of sight is Kurt Thomas in this first quarter, Hubie?
Well, you have to look back and say this guy led the NCAAs in rebounding. He had over 20 rebounds 4 times in his senior season, and he scored over 40 points 4 times. So you know, not only is he a horse and in that power forward position, but he also can score.
And with Miami leading 22-15, our first opportunity, and I hope it's not our last by any stretch, to send it to our third member of our team, Dick Versace.
Well, thank you, Dick. I'm here with Randy Funn, Vice President of the Miami Heat, and it was a big day, not only for the nation yesterday. President Clinton was reelected, but some big news as far as your new arena.
Well, we got the vote yesterday for our new arena, and it's just very exciting to us. We have a great owner here in Mickey Arison. He stepped forward with another $100 million to keep the Heat in Miami, in a waterfront stadium, which is where we want to be. So if we keep playing like we're playing in the first quarter, this is going to make it a perfect week for us.
Well, I read where Juwan Howard said he wanted, if he was here, he was going to take a boat to practice to be able to do that.
We'd like to be able to do that. We want all our players to live in a nice place. They want to take a boat to practice. That's great.
All right, Randy Funn, thank you. Back to you, Dick and Hubie.
Michael Jordan with a baseline jumper is fouled. So Jordan red hot early, getting cooled off a bit. And now it looks like he's back on the beam with 13 points. The personal foul is on Danilovic, his second personal. The Bulls have come in with a couple of substitutions. Dennis Rodman has checked back in the game, and the first appearance for Randy Brown, the 6'2 guard, who's really a tenacious defender for them.
Yeah, they're looking to lighten up the load on Harper, and then also, hopefully, over the course of the year, that Michael Jordan will play reduced minutes. Right now, Dennis Rodman playing the center position.
Pass off the hands of Thomas, so the Hardaway-Thomas connection short circuits for the second time tonight. Scottie Pippen leaves it for Brown. They don't get much offense from him. Kukoc out to Pippen. Marley on him. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 3:15 to go in the quarter. Off the screen, Kukoc. Here's Brown. 2 seconds on the clock. They didn't really have it going on that sequence. Rodman tried to clean it up, and it comes down to Heat. Good D by the Miami Heat that time down the floor.
Dan Marley has been doing an excellent job on Scottie Pippen off the dribble.
Pippen has scored but 2 points thus far, coming in averaging 18. Mourning's turnaround and a rebound by Jordan. The Bulls trailing the Heat by 4. 2:45 to go in the first quarter. Hardaway picking up Brown, going right through the switch. 8 on the shot clock. Jordan with a lot of room on the screen. And it comes down to Marley. Ahead of the pack is Mourning, and he's fouled. They had both Jordan and Brown trailing him, and one of them picked up the personal foul. That'll send Mourning to the line, and Hubie talked about how often he gets to the strike.
Yeah, this is just a good look by Marley, getting it up ahead, and then a smart foul right here to force him to get to the miss, and let's see him go to the foul line and make the foul shot. Now, this year, Alonzo is only shooting 50% from the foul line, but throughout his career, he's in the mid-70s. He gets to the line so often. Throughout his career, he's never averaged less than 8 attempts, and he's always in that 9 to 10 plus per game.
Brown picked up the foul on Mourning, who will be under the microscope, according to Pat Riley. There you see what he has done thus far. 10 touches, 3 for 4 from the line, 9 points already. He's been fouled 3 times, so obviously he is a focal point of this offense.
Yeah, and he's missed 2 foul shots also. The key with Alonzo Mourning is the turnovers. Last year he averaged close to 4 a game, and they're trying to get him. They practice double teaming in that so that he will get better at finding people.
23-18, the Miami Heat leading as we wind down to 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Kukoc over Brown is coming to the ball game. DJ Brown, the former New Jersey net who Hubie referred to at the opening, and a 3-point basket by Hardaway, only the second for the Heat in 6 tries, and it's a 8-point Miami lead, 26-18.
I thought Hardaway was wearing a Golden State shirt that time with Don Nelson on the side.
I think he has it underneath his shirt as Randy Brown misses, and we will have a offensive foul.
He just dribbles this one right up to the line, stops behind it, and it's always something that you've got to protect against because he's a quality three-point shooter, always around 36-38%.
Tim Hardaway goes to the bench. He has scored 7 points, and Gary Grant, the 9-year veteran from Michigan, who played in 47 games with the Knicks, replaces him. And Keith Askins, another fine defensive player, has also come in for Miami. Judd Bushler has checked into the Bulls lineup, and he's guarding Dan Marley with 1:33 to go in the first. P.J. Brown leaves it for Gary Grant. Loose ball out to the Heat with Marley in a new clock. 8-point Miami lead. Bulls led 7-2, and since then it's been all Miami.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get down inside to Mourning or Thomas and work a little bit. Let's see if Rodman and Kukoc can defend them.
How about outside to Mourning, as Alonzo has now 11 points. He's the leading scorer for Miami. 1 minute remaining at 28-18, biggest lead of the game. Brown throws it up, and he's fouled by Grant.
That was a bad foul by Grant. He just told his teammates, you know, my fault. That time Brown came from the opposite side of the floor. What Chicago will do when they don't run the triangle offense, they run what we call a spread, an open offense. 3 people outside high and then 2 in the corners. They pass to a wing and they just cut and beat you with their quickness.
Did he say my fault, or did he say my bad, like the new goal used to say? Which was it?
No, well, I'm not so sure. Gary Grant has done a nice job for Pat Riley in the first 2 games, and Pat is extremely happy, especially in the Indiana game. Gary came in and made 3 key baskets for them down the stretch.
Offensive rebound on the miss by Brown by Rodman. Who else? Here's Kukoc working against P.J. Brown. Tipped by Mourning. He got a piece of it. And out of bounds. Last touch by the Heat. It'll be Chicago ball.
Dennis Rodman now has 4 offensive rebounds. And everyone says, well, you know, he's only 6'7", 6'8". He only weighs 210 pounds. He should be able to keep him off the board.
How about anticipation and timing? It doesn't matter how tall you are if you got that going. Jordan fouled as he changed over to his left hand, and Michael Jordan will go to the free throw line. And Alonzo Mourning's first foul.
That was a primetime move from Michael. That's the 3rd time now from that spot that he has spun to the baseline and either scored or been fouled.
Mourning with his first foul. The numbers on Rodman: 7 rebounds and 5 off the offensive glass. And that is why the Chicago Bulls probably won the World Championship last year, because of what he did off the boards. That's the one factor they needed a year ago.
Well, anytime you say that a guy's going to get you 6 offensive boards, you know, because the shots are within 8 to 10 feet of the basket, the second shot, you're going to score 4 out of those 6 times. That's 8 points. And when you think about it, the majority of playoff games in the NBA are decided by 6 points or less.
Bulls extending their defense with 15 on the shot clock and under a half a minute to go in the first quarter. Jordan 1 out of 2 from the line. Here's Mourning over Rodman. Well played by Zoe.
See, right now, if I'm Pat Riley, I've got to go to Zoe down inside. Rodman has got to prove to me that he can stop Mourning, and if he can't stop him, I want him in foul trouble.
30-19. That's the biggest lead of the game for the Miami Heat. Mourning has 13. And Jordan goes up, the ball knocked away with 2.5. And that was Mourning doing the number against Dennis Rodman. Jordan misses at the buzzer. And the Miami Heat off to a brilliant start thanks to that man, Alonzo Mourning, with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 block shots, leading the way. And after 1, the Heat lead the Bulls 30-19. Welcome back to the Miami Arena. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and Dick Versace. The Miami Heat leading 30-19, shooting 55% from the field to only 35% for the Chicago Bulls. And there is the greatest coach, winning-wise of all time, Don Shula, formerly of the Dolphins.
Well, when you go back to Don Shula's early beginnings and you think of all of the coaches who were assistants at that time and then sprung out and made it, it's really amazing. And then naturally the incredible job that he did at Baltimore as well as Miami, and a wonderful man on top of it all.
A legend. Taking in the Heat tonight, Jordan is 6 of 11 from the field. The rest of the Bulls have only 2 baskets as you look at the breakdown of the field goal percentage as we start the second quarter. Steve Kerr is into the game for the Chicago Bulls. He's guarding Gary Grant. Askins is also in there with Marley, P.J. Brown, and Alonzo Mourning. Here is Scottie Pippen. He's got Kukoc, Rodman, Kerr, and Longley. Kukoc with the basket and is pushed by Brown, and he is fouled. So Kukoc with a chance for a three-point play.
Now, you really hate to see that. The Cardinals center defense is fouling a jump shooter. And that was the first time that the Chicago Bulls have scored in any type of transition. The Bulls are not what we would call a real fast breaking type of team. They lope down. They get their advantages 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3.
Kukoc misses the free throw. Kukoc had 20 in the opener against Boston, 14 last night against Vancouver. He's been bothered last year, the broken thumb, and then he's had a sprained left ankle, as Hubie pointed out. A lot of these veteran Bulls are banged up. And a whistle and a foul away from the ball.
Every time that they hit that high post on the right side, they are backdooring the man from the corner.
And Rodman picks up number 2.
Now you're going to see it right now to the left of your screen. You're going to see Steve Kerr go through, and then he grabs on. Now that to me was hardly a foul.
But Rodman now with 2. So Pippen and Rodman and Harper all with 2 fouls for the Bulls. Mourning posting up against Longley. Baseline turnaround. Alonzo Mourning, 15 points. He had 13 in the first quarter, and again an 11-point Miami lead. It's been all Miami thus far.
Well, he's really worked on that shot over the summer. He's calling it the Elijah on fadeaway.
Steal by Gary Grant. He'll take it in, and the Heat with their biggest lead of the game.
Remember what we told you now. We have 2 teams here who are leading the league. They're 1 and 2 in forcing turnovers. Both have forced 20 a game.
You know, the Heat are doing this in self-defense because you fall down by 12 to 15 points against Chicago, you kind of lose your enthusiasm. Very tight defense by the Miami Heat. Kerr misses a 3. No one underneath but P.J. Brown for Miami.
Gary Grant ran long, was wide open. Unfortunately, Thomas never saw him.
34 to 21 in favor of the Miami Heat, shocking the Bulls here in the first half. Bulls coming in 3-0, the Heat 2-0. Bad pass to Marley, too low, but Marley gets it anyway. And Mourning converts.
Nice. That was a man scoring there. That was a man's move. I mean, he came right through, knocked away 2 red shirts to get that ball.
And this is a game to be played only by men, Hubie. Let's face it. 17 points and 8 rebounds for Alonzo Mourning, and a foul committed against the Miami Heat.
Now keep an eye on this fadeaway. Alonzo worked on this move all summer to get it on that side of the floor. And then here, watch to the left of your screen. Now he comes through right here, and then right up in there between splitting Kukoc and Longley.
Askins committing his second personal foul. Mourning goes to the bench right now, replaced by Isaac Austin. And the turnaround by Scottie Pippen, who has his second basket.
Well, you got to give Marley credit. He's making Scottie work hard.
Bounce pass, and P.J. Brown tried something fancy here. You don't want to do that against the Chicago Bulls and give them a chance to get some momentum.
All he had to do is throw a bounce pass, and he had a layup.
13-point lead for the Heat. 9:15 to go in the half. Kukoc doesn't fall for him. The rebound by Ike Austin. I'll tell you about Austin, who Pat Riley is very high on. Here's Austin with a turnaround. Isaac Austin, who averaged over 22 a game in Turkey last year and led the NBA in field goal percentage in preseason.
Keep bringing out the point. Keep forcing the action. If you're Miami, every time you get a rebound or a steal, push the ball hard. The Bulls are not getting back there. Extremely sluggish this evening in the early going, and you're getting the 3-on-2 and the 4-on-3.
Tony Kukoc guilty of the offensive foul. Michael Jordan remains on the bench as the Heat have opened up a 15-point lead here with a little more than 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Austin couldn't handle it, and here's Pippen. Pippen, good defense by Hardaway, made him stop.
Cardinal rule of pivot plays: when the pass is made to you, meet the pass.
Kerr with the jumper. Steve Kerr with his first boot of the night. 38-25. Kerr, the three-point gem, 31 years old, hit 52% of them last year, second in the league. Grant working on Kerr. Here's Ike Austin. Goes right around Longley, but lost it to Luke. Turned it over. He had beaten him to the hoop off the dribble. Blue Coats. Guarded by Brown. Longley misses the jumper. Rodman knocks it out of bounds. Last touch, however, by the Heat. And Danilovic will come back into the game for Miami, and Randy Brown for the Chicago Bulls. We still haven't seen Michael Jordan yet in this second quarter. He scored 15 in the first. So Grant did his job, did it well. Goes to the bench. Kerr trapped. Brown, extra pass. Pippen for three. He's got it.
Beautiful call. Excellent rotation. Totally unselfish play.
Scottie Pippen, and that's the first from downtown for the Chicago Bulls, who come now within 10 points of the Miami Heat. 7:35 to go in the first half. Here's Sasha Danilovic with a runner, and it'll drop for him.
You know, he has that shot, Dick. He likes that. Soft balance, but you have to look at him. He's 6'7". He has long arms, and he has the ability to get off a high percentage shot.
Danilovic, that'll be the shooting guard. Rex Chapman, of course, was here last year. No longer here. I think the Heat would have liked to have kept him if the Juwan Howard thing were not possible. And a foul is called against Brown, P.J. Brown. That is his first foul, and that'll send Luke Longley to the free throw line.
Well, Longley ended up with a very poor percentage type of a shot, and then to get a foul called on top of it really bailed Longley out.
Luke Longley, who had bone spurs removed from his left ankle, has had tendonitis in his knees. You know, interesting at the Bulls shoot-around today, every one of the Chicago Bulls wears an ice pack when they shoot around on both knees.
Well, it's interesting, the trainer this year, because of the age of the team, 32 years in the starters, what they're doing is they're stretching for longer periods of time. They stretch when practice is over. They're all on diets now, and they're trying to do everything to preserve them for when the playoffs begin.
Ike Austin given the shot by Longley. Instead keeps it on the floor with 2 seconds on the clock, and the 24-second clock expires, turning it over to the Bulls.
Ike Austin is guilty of 2 turnovers here because he's trying to do too much. I think Pat Riley would be very happy if he would just take it to the rim, because he has a very nice game with his back to the basket.
6:42 remaining in the first half.
I'm here with legendary coach Don Shula. Coach, everybody wants to know what you're doing now.
Well, I'm watching Heat basketball. They're hustling. It's a great game, and it's always fun to watch the Bulls. And this is what I'm interested in right now, is supporting the Heat, Dolphins, and, you know, the other teams that I'm interested in the National Football League.
All right, you still must keep a very close eye on the Dolphins.
No question about that. You know, I'm hoping that they can get it untracked and start winning some games. They got a big one coming up this week with the Colts.
Coach, it's a pleasure seeing you as always.
Thank you, and I enjoy this. Thank you.
All right, back to Dick and Ubi.
All right, Dick, it's good to see Don Shula and his wife Mary Ann here at the Miami Heat game and enjoying some other sport. Normally this time of year, he is busy looking at film and probably doesn't get home much at all. Well, Michael Jordan, out for over 5 minutes, finally comes back into the lineup for Chicago Heat.
We said that they did not arrive until late. They all went to bed at 4, but Phil had them up by 11 because they practiced here today at 12 o'clock.
Jordan is fouled and will go to the line. Michael Jordan with 15 points in that first quarter, and P.J. Brown with his second personal. Dan Marley will come into the game replacing Keith Askin.
Michael is blowing by people this season. I mean, he looks so sharp, and when he elevates, no contest. He's getting excellent shots. Now, the people wanted a charge. In high school and college, that would have been a charge. But in pro basketball, they're going to protect the players that elevate, and there's like an unwritten, it's about a 3 to 6 foot, depending upon who's refereeing, out from that rim to protect the guys when they elevate.
Jordan was 5 for his first 6 from the field, now 6 for 11. But he'll get his points somehow, some way, and he'll get them in streaks. Hits both free throws, 17 for Michael Jordan, and the Heat lead at once 15 points, now down to 8.
The full court press has not turned the ball over once yet. They go into it every time from the foul shot.
Marley beats Rodman, going baseline. 1 for 5 for Marley. That's his first basket of the game. Remember, he is their shooting and scoring forward now. Averaged nearly 11 a game for the Cavaliers, playing in every one of their contests last season. Here's Brown for 3, long range, long rebound. Longley taps it out, a la volleyball player, to Brown. Now Jordan. Under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Jordan finds Longley, setting a screen for Scottie Pippen, but Ike Austin stayed with him. And Brown has it deflected by Austin, I think. It was Austin who got a hand on it for the block. Here's Hardaway pulling up. He rushed the shot a bit, out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Heat.
When you have such an outstanding defensive effort, and then you blow it up the floor, you get that uncontested 3 or a nice 15-foot jumper. The coach, you can see Pat was like uptight. He was going, that's okay, but in your heart you're saying you got to knock those down.
Right. And he runs a very structured offense, as he's told us today. Jordan over 3 defenders. If Michael Jordan ever forced a shot, that probably was an example right there.
Well, the reason why the red shirts come up with the offensive rebound is that 3 guys went right like a magnet to Michael.
So Longley with 6, 42 to 34, winding down to 8 points. Lonzo Mourning, who has been on the bench, has scored 17, getting ready to come back in the game. Austin from Kurt Thomas. Tell you, you got to like Kurt Thomas in his all-around game so far.
He just made a beautiful pass. That's the second nice bounce pass he's made in traffic.
And Austin with his second field goal, and the turnover into the hands of Austin. Now Marley. Danilovic for 3.
Yes.
Sasha Danilovic with his second from downtown. And after being threatened by the Bulls, they've opened up again a 13-point lead as Miami.
By picking up P.J. Brown and Ike Austin, they've added 6'10 and 6'11, 2 big, long players. You put them with Thomas in there, you have the luxury of taking Mourning out of the game.
And Sasha Danilovic is 4 for 4 from the field. Back here at the Miami Arena, and it was this past Saturday that Pat Riley took his Miami Heat to Market Square Arena to face Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers. The Heat won 97-95, giving Miami its first ever win in Indianapolis, but bigger, gave Pat Riley his 800th career win, the quickest an NBA coach has ever achieved that milestone. Big road win for the Miami Heat, who had defeated the Atlanta Hawks at home in their opener, and doing a good job so far against the world champion Chicago Bulls. And this is how they stack up, best winning percentage amongst the coaches.
Well, Pat Riley has been able to do it now in 3 different franchises. And as you look, we all know Showtime in LA, New York, the Bad Boys, and the rock solid defense. And then down here, we said last year he ran through 22 players. Only 5 guys remain. They did win 42 games. That was the most wins in the history of this franchise.
And he has a theory. He said 8 I will play, 7 I will use, 6 I will rotate, and 5 I will trust. That is Pat Riley's theory of how he's going to operate his personnel. Michael Jordan hit on the elbow, and Sasha Danilovic, who has scored 10 points, including 2 from downtown, has now picked up his 3rd personal.
One thing that you know when you're around this league a lot, anytime that you go up with Michael, you better not get close, because if you get a piece of him, they're going to put him on the line. Now, there are some guys who elevate in this league. They get hit, and there are no calls. But I think he does deserve that type of a respect.
Did you say elevate or levitate? I wasn't sure what you said. Jordan makes them both 7 of 8 from the free throw line, and Michael Jordan now with 19 points. He leads the Chicago Bulls. Alonzo Mourning back in the game with 17 for the Heat. And by the way, Miami held their own pretty well without Mourning, who was out for almost 6 minutes and were outscored by only 2 points. Turned over. Thomas lost the ball into the hands of Scottie Pippen with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. 47-36, Miami leading by 11. Jordan pulling up, and Sasha's not going to get near him.
Now, you can see he really feels it, and it's in the first step. His first step is so quick tonight, and then on the quick elevation, he's right up over the top of the defender.
21 points for Michael Jordan, and a 22nd timeout called for by the Miami Heat.
Just keep an eye on this move. Now, once he makes that move, there's the stop, and he's up. There's nothing that Danilovic can do about it. He's not known as a great defender to begin with, but no one guy is going to stop Michael where he wants to go. Before Michael retired, his first 9 years in the league, he averaged 23 shots a game. Since he has come back, he's averaging 22 shots a game. You are not going to stop him because the shots are there.
And there you see, last year 30.4, 50% from the field. His rebounding was the same, so he picked up where he left off and got another world championship, and tonight has scored 21 of the Bulls' 38 points.
I think the other thing you always have to look at his career and say the 6 rebounds are there, the 6 assists are there. He always shot over 50%. He always shot over 84% on the foul line. Then he's always in the top 3 in steals. And then you say, well, then again, he does make the first team all defensive team every year.
Yes, he does. Right. Let's add an asterisk at the bottom.
Yes, right. Right.
He turns it over, and with 3:29 to go, the Bulls are making a run. They were down by as much as 15, cut it to 8, and found themselves down by 14. Now they're trailing 47-38.
He made a statement in the first quarter. The Heat are playing good basketball, no turnovers. Since that time, turnovers are rash.
I will not take credit for jinxing them, however. Okay. Pippen working against P.J. Brown. 1 second on the shot clock. Kukoc gets it off just in time and scores from downtown. That's a dagger in the heart sometimes.
Yeah, they're back.
6 down. The Bulls trail 47-41 with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Well, you tell you, sooner or later, they'll come after you. Ron Harper with the steal. Brown thought he double dribbled. It won't matter because he threw it away for a turnover nonetheless.
You're allowed to drop the ball and then pick it up as long as you do not move. That was not a turnover. You can see right here now, Kukoc, here's your shot right in the face. And you know he's a prime-time offensive threat. But at this end, they have stolen the ball now 4 times from the high post player in this quarter.
Rodman is guarding Mourning now. That's a switch. Longley is out of the game. So Mourning working against Dennis Rodman, and it's not get it. Mourning follows it in. Good second effort by Alonzo Mourning, who really is the landmark of this club. He is the symbol of the big.
Oh, yes!
Pippen and Jordan. Jordan put it through.
Eye contact. And how about the grab? What a one-handed grab.
And a whistle and Rodman, and a loose ball foul.
Now, keep an eye to the right of your screen. Watch how high up Michael is. Not bad. Not a bad catch.
Eye contact. How long have they been doing this?
They've been doing it for so long. It's just beautiful to watch the 2 of them play. Now, they were just down big here. No panic. They kept Michael out for the 5 minutes because they know that their defense, night in and night out, will bring them back. There's so much confidence. And then they do have 2 guys who can finish for
a little bit.
I think they were in our picture there.
Kurt Thomas picked up the foul. Rodman hits the first free throw. That'll make all the highlight reels tonight, you can be sure. 49-45, and the Heat lead once 15 points, now down to 4 with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. And the crowd has been quieted by a Chicago Bull defensive display.
We made a little statement earlier tonight. Will the post people please meet the pass? It's cost them 4 turnovers this quarter.
Hardaway finds P.J. Brown, who hits a big jumper that stops the bleeding momentarily for the Miami Heat. Here's Pippen, who's got Jordan, Rodman, Harper, and Kukoc. Minute and a half remaining in the first half. Kukoc, tough baseline shot falling away. Tony Kukoc is red hot now, and he's got 7. And a runner by Hardaway misses, but cleaning up is Mourning. Tipped away by Kukoc. That was a great play inside by Tony Kukoc. Harper leaves it for Scottie Pippen, who nails it, and the Chicago Bulls trail now by only a bucket.
When you play them, you cannot turn the ball over, and number 2, you cannot miss your golden opportunities. And in this half, they have missed a ton down here.
Marley with the lay-in inside, 53-49, with 45+ seconds remaining and 20 on the shot clock. Chicago Bulls, to no one's surprise, have come back big here in the second quarter. Scottie Pippen stop and go and draws the foul. Pippen will shoot. He has scored 9 thus far. Coming up on the Nike halftime report, Vince Cellini is joined in our Atlanta studio by Cheryl Miller. Vlade Divac and his new team take on his old team, the Charlotte Hornets, hosting the Lakers tonight. You'll see highlights of that game and all the other NBA action tonight coming up on the Nike halftime report. P.J. Brown has picked up his 3rd foul, so Danilovic and Brown both with 3 personals for the Heat. And coming in is Keith Askins, sending P.J. Brown to the bench.
From a basketball strategy standpoint, Dennis Rodman is allowed to stay in this game because the Heat did not go to Alonzo Mourning down in low. No way could Dennis keep him from getting a high percentage shot, and if he did, Mourning could beat him to the offensive board.
But they chose not to go that route.
That's right.
And Michael Jordan, as you mentioned, all defense, comes down the floor and deflects a pass that could have resulted in an easy layup for the Heat. So it's still Miami's ball. They have 18 on the shot clock and 29.6 remaining in the first half. Keith Askins, number 2, inbounding to Marley. He's got Hardaway, Mourning, Kurt Thomas as well. Here's Askins shooting over Pippen. Wild 3. Rodman nowhere to go down court, and now the Chicago Bulls will play for the last shot of the first half, trailing by only 2. And a timeout called by Chicago at the 22nd timeout with 12.8. Well, Pat Riley told us today, he said, you know, if they get up by a half a dozen, you can close the doors the way they play.
Well, you have to look at the playoff last year. Chicago knocks them out 3-0. They win by an average of 23 points a game. They turn them over 21 times a game, and then they out-rebound them by 8. Now, if you think about the second quarter, the turnovers were there in a rash. They're controlling both boards, and all of a sudden, they've narrowed that gap. It's a team that is beautiful to watch because they're never out of a game, because their defense is so solid. They have incredible confidence, and their offense, even if the offense is not flowing, because of Pippen and Jordan and Kukoc, they can get their shot off the dribble.
Scottie Pippen with 11. Michael Jordan has 23. So 34 between those two. They've done it before. There you're looking at the shooting percentages. Miami 55%, still shooting 55, but look at the Bulls. They went from 35 to 59% in the second quarter.
They have all their three-point shooters in, and they're going one-on-one. Watch the kick out.
Kerr, Jordan, Pippen, and Pippen for 3. That's exactly what they did, Coach Brown. And look at another one right here. Another one. Yes, a 2. Oh. 6 points in the last 12+ seconds to end this first half. And the Miami Heat have to still be in shock. What an exhibition. You called it, Hubie. You knew exactly what they would do after the timeout. Michael Jordan hits the 3 after Scottie Pippen hit the 3, and the Bulls finish on a 23-6 run.
Well, they bring in Kerr and in Harper, and then they're going for the 3. But see, this is careless right now with 2.0 seconds. Watch, see, this is a long pass. Michael just laying in the woods. Beautiful ball fake, and then that one was at least 6 feet behind the line.
You know, you hate to say it for a Miami crowd. They got their money's worth in the last 12 seconds of the first half. 57-53, the Bulls in front after one half. And this is South Beach. The NBA is celebrating its 50th anniversary. South Beach in Miami, and inside a sold-out Miami arena, where at halftime with the Chicago Bulls stunning the Miami Heat with a late spurt, leading 57-53. Hubie, amazingly, the Chicago Bulls scored 23 points in the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds. That would translate out to 66 points for a quarter. That was phenomenal the way they came off.
That was a great ending. Their defense was spectacular in the second quarter, forcing 7 turnovers. You look at him, Jordan 26 points. Where did Pippen score 14 points? Dennis Rodman did his usual, 9 boards, 5 offensive rebounds.
He wove it in there.
That's right. Kukoc comes off the bench, does his thing, and they just stay solid.
Let's take a look at some halftime statistics. The Heat outshooting the Bulls 55-48. They were pretty consistent, but you saw Chicago made that run. Alonzo Mourning has already exceeded his playoff average against the Bulls last year when they went down 3 straight in the first rounds of the playoff, and has doubled the rebounding output. But this was the last 12 seconds of the half.
Now keep an eye on Hardaway. See, Hardaway just looks at Pippen. Pippen is thinking nothing but a 3. Now this is where everything was compounded. Thomas tries to throw a half-court pass. You never do that. Jordan, there was right to 2 red shirts, and then Jordan just knocks it down. Key stat in this half, Chicago Bulls 13 for 17 from the foul line. Now Alonzo Mourning had a spectacular half himself. You can see the touches, very little double teaming. His shooting is a good job. Also, he has 6 offensive rebounds to throw into that mix.
And
so
Michael,
I'm sorry, Dave.
go ahead.
He's doing his job. He just needs some more help.
And there you see what Jordan has done against the defenders against him.
Yeah, and it's multiple defenders. No one guy is going to play him during the course of the night. They said at least 3 or 4 guys would take a chance.
And of course, Jordan and the Bulls went on a 10. The Heat was up by 13, and that's when the Chicago Bulls went to town. And Pat Riley telling us today he knows he has 2 scorers in Mourning and Hardaway, although Hardaway scored only 7. Where's the 3rd scorer going to come from? And that could be the problem. Thomas started out strong with 5, and Austin may show some promise, but he doesn't have that 3rd scorer.
Well, Danilovic and Marley are 2 guys who are averaging 14 points for him right now, but we're talking about the long haul, the night in and night out consistency, and in that playoff time, who is going to be that 3rd guy? They need a guy who can come to this team that can get you 20 to 35. Now that's what we mean
Could
by
be a trade acquisition.
Well, who knows?
Possible, right?
Because they're developing a lot of players here right now, Dick. They really are. You have to like their ball club, but their shortcoming we could see. And the main thing also is their post-play guys, the young people, stop trying to do too much. Just do the meat and potatoes.
So we start the second half with Hardaway and Danilovic at guard. Danilovic playing with 3. Kurt Thomas up front with Marley and Alonzo Mourning. The Bulls with Jordan, Rodman, Pippen, Harper, and Longley. So the same 5 who started the game for both teams in there now. Hardaway misses a 3. Rebound Jordan. Hardaway scored only 7 points. Kind of rushed things a little bit in the first half, but he was a great settling influence after his acquisition from Golden State last year. He played very well down the stretch. Jordan with a jumper. Ooh, a foul is called.
Rodman just took a hard spill. He really did. You could hear the echo.
Kurt Thomas with his 2nd personal foul. Rodman is sporting a red and black hairdo. colors of the team.
Now keep an eye down inside now to the left of the screen. You're going to see it right here. Rodman came over the back of Thomas, and Thomas also aided him in hitting the floor.
Longley with a hook shot. Wild hook by Longley.
Oh, he tripped, I think.
Hardaway working against Pippen, beat him off the dribble, feeds Mourning, and everything but the basket that time. They worked it well. Both Hardaway and Mourning came up empty. So it's still 57-53 in favor of the Bulls in the opening moments of the second half. Jordan hits. Nothing's changed for him, and Michael Jordan now with 28 points, and the Miami Heat quickly call a 20-second timeout.
Yeah, it's a good move by Pat. That's excellent strategy. Right now, he is not happy with the way the offense is moving. Hardaway is now 1 for 4 in threes, and he's just trying to calm them down right now. And let's start paying a lot more attention to some key people here.
You know, things aren't going to get easier for the Miami Heat, Hubie. They will go on a road trip, including 6 games in the Pacific and Mountain time zone, 9 back-to-backs, 3 against this team, 2 against the Bulls, 14 road games. So the Heat want to, do something while they can play at home here for a while.
Yeah, the upside of that is when they come back, they're going to have an awful lot of home games. You know, everyone has to go through this.
Very perceptive.
Yeah, right. That's absolutely right.
Biggest lead of the game for the Chicago Bulls right now is 6.
A good example, the Atlanta Hawks. They start out struggling. They go 0-2. Oh, they got to go to Portland. Well, they'll probably get hammered out there. They handle Portland, and then they crucify Seattle at Seattle by 25.
So how do you think it?
That's right.
Minute and a half has gone by. Here's Danilovic missing a jumper. The long rebound into the hands of Scottie Pippen. 6-point lead for the Chicago Bulls. Hardaway quickly picks up Harper. Touch pass Longley to Rodman, but Thomas is with him, and Rodman doesn't make it. Thomas, he looks like he's going to be a good one. 6'9" out of TCU. Marley wide open for 3, and those are the threes the Heat have to make.
That's why we wanted to emphasize to you, they're leading the league in attempts, 23 threes a night. So anytime you take that amount of threes, you must come in with 7 to 9 makes.
And Marley himself only 2 for 7 from the field, so he is ice cold. He has scored only 4 points in the game. Pippen working against Marley. Thomas did a good job of coming over to double team, and the rebound by Mourning.
Well, Pat Riley said that Thomas understands their defensive rotations better than anyone.
Marley still trying away. 2 for 8 now as Marley misses 2 long-range attempts. And he is 0 for 5 from downtown. Michael Jordan tries to stuff it through against Mourning. It is deflected out of bounds. Riley says it's Heat ball, and the referees agree with him. Last touch by the Bulls.
Well, Michael is yelling that, right now to both referees that the ball was hit. And you can see right there, there could have been a hand on the ball as he went for the dunk.
Thomas with a turnaround, and that doesn't drop. So the Heat are not getting any kind of break as far as some of those shots dropping for. The score remains 59-53 in favor of the Bulls. A little more than 3 minutes gone by. Scoop shot by Rodman. Very aggressive play underneath. Pippen keeps it alive, and here's Ron Harper for 3, and he's got it.
We just had a major collision where Mourning went down, Rodman went down. They were all tangled up.
Marley with a reverse lay-in. That doesn't go. Everything not working for the Heat, everything clicking for the Chicago Bulls. And here is Harper with another 3. That's 2 in a row by Ron Harper. And they now call it a 2-point basket by Ron Harper. But the Heat will take it, and a timeout called, and the Bulls have opened up an 11-point spread, 64-53. We'll be right back.
Well, right now you're going to see Miami has missed a number of easy shots. Right now they're coming up on the break, and it'll come to the right of your screen. Now watch as Harper makes this catch. It was very close, but you can see right there he catches the 3-point line. So when he makes this shot, it's only a 2.
The Chicago Bulls have scored 15 consecutive points, carrying over from the final minute of the second quarter. And to make things worse for the Heat, they are 0 for 7. They're in the refrigerator, shooting-wise, here in the quarter. So it's 64-53. Marley misses a three.
See, any time that this happens to you, and your coaches have got to have like a clock. You go 7-0, 8-0. You've got to go down inside, get the high percentage shot, if not get fouled.
Well, instead, Jordan gets the basket and gets fouled.
Showtime.
He wasn't even looking at the basket when he went up for that shot. Let's face it.
That's right.
He was looking towards us.
Well, you're going to see this. He just happened to throw it up over his head. Now just watch this as he spins baseline. He comes into the traffic, just throws it up, hoping.
He peeked. He even liked that. Michael even said that was a neat one. And a three-point play by Michael Jordan, who now has 31 points, and that is his season high. Jordan previously had 30 in the season opener against the Boston Celtics. 14-point lead for the Chicago Bulls. And illegal defense called against Chicago, and that's the first one of the game. And the Bulls, Phil Jackson's upset, and why not? His team is on an 18-0 run, Hubie.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, I know what you mean. Everything is going his way. He just spent the entire timeout over trying to argue with the referees that Michael Jordan's shot was blocked. Out of bounds.
Maybe that's why they've won 4 titles in 6 years. Who knows?
Take them strong, Zoe. No jump shot here.
Joe doesn't. He goes outside to Danilovic, and he'll take the three. Sasha with his third from downtown. And it's 67-56, so the Heat down by 11. They were once up, believe it or not, by 15 in the first half. Marley guarding Pippen, Jordan. And now Longley, high post, nowhere to go with it. The Heat doing a good job of fronting the entry pass, and Harper has to rush a shot at the buzzer. But there is Harper getting the ball and a new clock for the Bulls.
And they're just quicker right now. You can see that they've left their wake-up call. They're great.
Baseline. No.
Wow.
Luke Long. I didn't know he had it in him.
Oh, and did he send that down strong?
Do you know he had that in him?
No, I have to admit, that was really quick.
Hardaway misses a three, and Rodman the rebound. And let's see, Thomas and Rodman collide. Let's see Luke Longley again. That's got to be a picture book play for the Australians.
Watch him spin to the baseline now. You see, he feels the defender. Now, come up underneath. No way could Mourning block that shot. Always come up underneath the basket, knock the defender off with the rim.
Did not play for the Australian Olympic team because of the surgery on the bone spurs. But Shane
Hill did
a three-point.
Yes, and he made the Minnesota team this year.
We were impressed with Australia when we saw them. They played well in the Olympics.
They sure did.
Jordan, basket counts and a foul, and that'll be 4 on Sasha Danilovic.
Yeah, see, he did get him. See, he got him again. Now, see, if I were coaching Danilovic right now, I'd say to him right now, how many shots have you blocked of Jordan's tonight? Okay?
That's a good
you know, really, I'd ask him a good question. You know, I'm trying to be, you know, in your face. See, he keeps going for the shot block. He has not blocked one of his shots, and he has fouled him 3 times.
Why is he all over?
What's the cardinal rule of defense? Do not foul a jump shooter.
You've told me that for years. One of these days I'll learn.
Yeah, right.
34 points for Michael Jordan. And it's 72-56. Heat are threatening to turn this game into a rout. Kurt Thomas with a spinning move. Thomas with 7 points in the game. 72-58, nearing the halfway mark of this third quarter.
Thing right now is just don't panic. Take your time, get back and play some defense.
Pippen misses a three, and Alonzo Mourning the rebound. There's his 13.
This is another collision right here. Rodman and Thomas have now had 3 collisions in this game, 2 in the last 2 minutes. Now, somebody's got to be careful. Like, keep an eye on this right now. See, right there, Thomas grabs him by the shirt. Rodman steps in front of him. Now, who needs an unnecessary injury? And pretty soon one of these 2 guys is going to get hurt. Because that's the 3rd time they have tumbled and fallen into the hardwood.
Danilovic goes out with 4 fouls, and number 21, Bashan Leonard, in his second year from Minnesota, replaces him. Makes a great pass as Harper fouls Mourning going to the basket, and Rodman has to calm down Zoe. Has to calm down Zoe here.
Well, that was a beautiful screen and roll and a nice pass by Leonard.
Leonard, by the way, is in for his shooting purposes, and we're taking a look now at the GMC scoreboard. Detroit with a good come-from-behind win over Philadelphia, winning again. Washington over San Antonio, to the delight of Marty Aronoff. And Milwaukee in front as well, as Mourning misses the first free throw.
Mourning this evening is now 3 for 6 on the line.
Mourning with 19 points, looking for his 20th. Fine all-round game, but you got to have support for a player like Alonzo Mourning. He's got 20 now, and it's 72-59 in favor of the Bulls. Jordan with 34 points, out there with Harper, Longley, Rodman, and Scottie Pippen. Turnaround by Jordan. He is phenomenal.
Anytime they hit him in the post like that, they are backdooring the guy from the corner and the man from the top, leaving Michael one-on-one.
Hardaway driving to the basket is fouled, so 36 now for Michael Jordan. And Tim Hardaway to the line. We could watch number 23 in his exploits all night.
You can see they're clearing out. They just cut everyone through, and that allows Michael to just take his man. Now in the first half, he spun 3 times to the baseline and beat Danilovic to the basket. That time, and that's always there for him, the fadeaway.
Now there's the 6'6" Jordan working against Hardaway at 6 foot even, with Danilovic on the bench, and Harper or Jordan could have posted up against him. Tony Kukoc back into the game for Chicago. Kukoc scored 7 in the first half, including 1 from downtown, as Longley goes out.
Well, right now, Dennis Rodman will play Mourning because he moves to the center position.
Tim Hardaway came over in a trade last February from Golden State. Scored 30, by the way, against these Bulls in game 1 of the playoffs. And averaged 8 assists. He makes the free throws to cut the lead to 13 right now with 5:10 remaining in the third. Miami led by 11 at the quarter. The Bulls by 4 at the half. Jordan up and under over Hardaway, and it drops for him. 38 for Michael Jordan. He's having a blast today.
Well, that's the danger when you say that you're going to put a 6-foot point guard on him.
Rashawn Leonard. And Mourning fights for the offensive rebound. Did a good job. In and out. Harper releasing down court. Pippen finds Harper. Well, Michael Jordan is having maybe the most relaxed game he's had in quite a while.
Well, see, that time Pippen was upset. See, Pippen wanted a good pass because, once again, Hardaway was playing a post-up player, and Scottie just said something to Kukoc. He said, look, come on, he's fronting me. All he do is give me a decent lob.
And this team will talk to their teammates coming up floor if they don't like something. That's why they're champions. They don't wait till the buzzer or the timeout. Alonzo Mourning with 22 points. He's like a one-man gang out now there for the Heat.
Well, anytime that you're a Bull and you're out here right now and you have major mismatches, they're one of the few teams in the league that sees the mismatches and then tries to take advantage of them.
Jordan double team, misses the jumper, and the rebound by Marley. Jordan guarding Hardaway. Wide open, Rashawn Leonard. In all fairness to the Heat, a lot of their shots have rimmed the basket and gone in and out.
Well, do you get a quarter of a point for that or what?
New rules?
No rules.
Kukoc trying to split the difference. Harper left open for 3. Ron Harper now with his 3rd from downtown. He has more three-point baskets than anyone for the Chicago Bulls tonight. They've opened up a 79-63 lead. Thomas with a turnaround gets the basket. Kurt Thomas now with 9 points, and a timeout called for the Chicago Bulls. 79-65. The Bulls have quieted this capacity crowd considerably. Back here in Miami, and the numbers of Robert Parrish, and tonight he is merely chief sitting bull. He has not played the last 2 games. He has yet to play tonight. And Robert Parrish, 43 years old. That's correct. And Parrish setting an NBA record for most seasons for an NBA player. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played 20 years, and now this is his 21st season. And he could be perfect fit for the Chicago team.
He's played extremely well. And you can see right now the oldest teams in the league. Despite everyone's talking about the Bulls, that their starters are 32 years of age, but at least they're working on it and trying to do something to get the guys ready for playoff time. Going back to Robert Parrish, there have only been 10 guys in the history of this league that have scored 20,000 points and 10 rebounds. Robert Parrish is one of the 10.
Wow. Michael Jordan is out, and he's sitting next to Robert Parrish. Maybe he'll pick up some wisdom. Here's Pippen working against Marley. Good defense by Mourning. Got a piece of that one. That's the fourth block for Alonzo Mourning. Good feed to Vashawn Leonard. Tipped in by P.J. Brown for the Miami Heat. The Heat now with Brown, Marley, Hardaway, Vashawn Leonard, and Alonzo Mourning. Steve Kerr replaced Jordan. Here is Randy Brown. So it's a small backcourt for Chicago with Kerr and Brown, but Longley back with Kukoc and Pippen. Here's Brown. Long rebound. Tipped by Marley right to Longley, who lays it in for his 10th point.
If Miami is coming back, Hardaway and Marley must contribute. They must contribute big. Danilovic right now is in foul trouble with 4. So these are the only other 2 guys who can help Mourning out.
Vashawn Leonard lays it in, and Hubie, you talk about Marley and Hardaway combined, they have only 13 points.
Well, that's why you got to get these 2 guys cooking right now. They must step up.
Kukoc, and the rebound by Alonzo Mourning. He's got 16 off the glass tonight for the Heat. Real 81-69 can cut it to 10 or less here with 1:40 remaining in the third quarter. P.J. Brown
wants to take him.
Marley with Pippen on him. Brown over Kukoc. And at the other side, Pippen with a lead pass to Tony Kukoc. Out of bounds. Turned over to the Miami Heat. Well, a big NBA doubleheader comes your way this Friday on TNT beginning at 8 p.m. when Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls take on Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons have been red hot. Then in Game 2, all the way from Japan, where Hubie will commute to after this one, the New Jersey Nets take on the Orlando Magic. And Tuesday night, the NBA on TNT continues when Shaq and the Lakers face Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and the Houston Rockets. Dan Marley, and that's what you were talking about, getting Marley going.
Yeah, he has to become more assertive off the dribble. The outside shot is not there right now, so you just can't disappear. You've got to take the ball to the hoop.
10-point lead now for the Chicago Bulls with under a minute to go. And a blind pass Kukoc. Pippen can't save it. So the Bulls have turned it over on 2 successive times down the court. And Chicago will call timeout, and Phil Jackson is upset and will come out to the middle of the court.
And he should be. Scottie Pippen has been fronted twice in the post. He's wide open. They cleared out the backside. And both times Kukoc has thrown the pass too long out of bounds.
22nd timeout, and Phil doesn't seem that upset. But he's got a deep voice.
Oh, my. Well, you're back to 10. You have 47 seconds. Let's go. You just got to make sure right now that you get a good percentage shot. You keep it 10. Hopefully you can get it to 8. You're at home. And then maybe you can step it up and get something going here in this last quarter.
Pat Riley's Heat were up by 15 points in the second quarter tonight, off the wings of an 11-point first quarter lead, and then the Bulls went wild, including a brilliant 6-point shot from downtown effort in the last 12 seconds. Since Michael Jordan has gone to the bench, the Heat have outscored the Bulls 6-2. As you look at the shooting percentage since the first quarter, Miami way down and the Bulls are way up. 6 seconds on the shot clock for the Bulls with 47.4 in the third. Longley looking for help. Deflected by Mourning. He picks it off. So 3 turnovers in a row by the Bulls.
Now you want to get something out of this quick so that you would get another possession. They're not understanding the 2-for-1 deal here.
It was 2 turnovers. They kept possession the last time, but they're not protecting the ball very well. 8 on the shot clock. Mourning facing against Longley with the jumper, and he's got it. Mourning now with 24 points.
See, Dick, by taking that long of a period of time, you got it down inside of 20-some seconds. Now the Bulls can run out the clock. They had a good opportunity to go 2 for 1.
Right. But it's 81-73, and the Heat have come to within 8 points after being down by 16. Kukoc, goaltending called against Mourning.
Yeah.
And credit Tony Kukoc with the basket.
You know, I want to say something about goaltending. The shot has got to have an opportunity of going in. So right there, you can see that ball was going to not hit the backboard perfectly for that.
That's like pass interference in the NFL. If a ball is not going to be caught.
In the what? In the what?
The NFL.
NFL,
It's another
National
sport.
Family League, or what? What is that?
It's another sport here.
Is that rugby or?
I'll explain it to you sometime. Here is Grant missing at the buzzer. But in the NFL, if a pass cannot be caught, they don't call pass interference. That's similar to what you're talking about.
Absolutely. It's a judgment call.
Michael Jordan has scored 38 points in 28 minutes, and after 3 here at the Miami Arena, the Bulls 83, the Heat 73. Quarter with the Bulls leading the Heat 83-73, and if Phil Jackson's concerned, Michael Jordan sat out the last 3 minutes of the quarter, but he's in there now. Normally he sits out the beginning of the quarters, but he's in there now to start with Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Wennington making his first appearance of the game.
Well, right now he wants to keep one of his quality guys out there and score, either Pippen or Jordan. He decided to Jordan.
Wennington misses the jumper, and Gary Grant, who opens with Vashawn Leonard, P.J. Brown, Dan Marley, and Alonzo Mourning.
Come on, you got to get the ball into Mourning. See, Alonzo was really upset. He had Wennington pinned right in the lane.
10 on the shot clock. Jordan trying to deny. Too far out is Mourning. Driving against Wennington, goes up and draws the foul. That was his only play. Right now, let's check in with Dick Versace.
Well, Dick and Ubi, I just got out of the Pat Riley huddle. He's exhorting his team not to feel that the game is over with. He's saying, hey, we just need a few stops. Ubi, you can explain what a stop is, but he says we can get right back in this. Back to you guys.
Well, I would think down by 10 going into the final quarter, you're not out of the game.
No, of course not. And you're at home. All you need is a little spurt. You want your second unit right now to do it for you. Phil counteracted that by saying, hey, I'm going to put my second unit in there, but I'm leaving Rodman for the rebounding to play their center position, but then I'm leaving Michael in there to solidify the offense.
By the way, Michael Jordan committed his first personal foul. Mourning hits both free throws. He's got 26 in the game, and it's 83-75. 8 points. Now remember, the Bulls led by 16 in the third quarter, so the Heat have staged a rally here. Kerr has it over to Jordan, who's guarded by Vashawn Leonard. Kerr fires up a quick 3. And Mourning gets it into the hands of Gary Grant. Pushing it up, knocked away by Kerr. Gary Grant made a bad pass. And here comes a 2-on-1 break, and Rodman is fouled by P.J. Brown, but traveling is called against Dennis Rodman before he was fouled.
They get the lucky call there. Plus the foul was a solid call because Dennis Rodman is a 56% foul shooter, so you know you're not going to let him get a layup. Now right here, that's a bad pass. They just could have taken their time and posted Mourning. Now you're going to see right here, this is a good pass by Michael, and there was the extra step.
Questionable, I would say.
Well, in the NBA, especially.
And that's what we're watching.
Yeah,
8-point lead. Here's Mourning working against Wennington with a fall away.
No follow. So you can't fall away with Wennington. You have to take Wennington to the hole and force Wennington to try to block the shot.
Rodman with 14 off the glass now. Opening minute and a half of this fourth quarter, and Jordan is fouled by Vashawn Leonard.
I like Leonard's defense on Michael off the dribble here now, 2 possessions. Now that time he got caught with the hand check, but he's really moved his feet, quick feet. See, in this situation, you have such an advantage. There's no way that Wennington can play you off the dribble going strong in the lane. Never throw the fadeaway jump shot. Why? Because you cannot get to the offensive glass. If you take it in and shoot the baby hook, you can beat him with your quickness if you miss and get on the offensive board.
Kukoc met by Marley. 14 on the shot clock. Jordan Great double pump. Threw up a rare air ball for him and a loose ball foul called against the Miami Heat. And that will be against Thomas, I believe. And that will be 4 on Kurt Thomas.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman worked himself down inside that time. And Thomas realized that he was behind. He gave Dennis a push.
Rodman will inbound. Kukoc looking low. Leonard very nearly stole the ball from Michael Jordan. You're right. He's doing a great blanket job on Jordan. Even though he gets the basket, Leonard stayed with him as well as any human being could.
Michael Jordan jumped 4 feet in the air, went out of bounds, and shot the ball around the back.
And that's something to say to Pat Riley coming up the court. 40 points now for Michael Jordan. Here is Kurt Thomas bottled up. Grant fires it up and is fouled. That's a 2-point basket attempt. Let's see Michael Jordan in his antics as he scored his 40th.
Now, Michael was well, look at the trap. There's the trap. Now, here he comes down, and he's saying, you know what? I'm going up anyway, and I'm going to shoot that around that backboard.
And let's take a look at the McDonald's game reset. Michael Jordan, 40 points in the 30 minutes. The Bulls with a big 18-0 run between the second and third quarters, and Mourning has been magnificent for the Miami Heat tonight. Here is Gary Grant hitting the first free throw, missing the second. And it's an 85-76 lead for the Bulls with 9:23 to go in the fourth. And Gary Grant over and back called against Steve Kerr. Good play by Grant.
Yeah, now right now, you know, Phil Jackson is up right now, and he has a right to complain because the defender definitely did get a piece of that ball, knocking the ball into the backcourt.
So P.J. Brown will inbound. It's Brown, Gary Grant, Kurt Thomas, Dan Marley, and Marshawn Leonard for the Heat. Bulls have turned it over 5 times in the last 4.5 minutes. That's unbull-like. Marley misses. Loose ball. Marley's missed a lot of shots tonight. They expected a lot more offense from him. He's 3 for 12 from the field is Dan Marley. Jordan shooting over Leonard for 3. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by the Chicago Bulls.
You know, I hate to say this because it sounds,
say it anyway.
No, it sounds ridiculous. Marshawn Leonard is doing a good job on Michael. I mean, he's moving his feet.
Okay,
he's forcing Michael to jump up over the top of him. And Michael is trying to make some difficult shots here.
Kurt Thomas short with the turnaround. And it's still Miami's ball.
Well, this is the problem with Miami. Alonzo Mourning is out. They do not have another established post-up player. Now, you can throw it in all you want. And the Chicago Bulls do not have to double-team anyone. And when you don't have to double-team, you stay and hug the three-point shooters.
Especially when you're that athletic and you're got so much versatility and using people like Pippen, who's coming back in the game. Tim Hardaway replaced Gary Grant. Wennington goes out. And Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper back here. Leonard with the ball. Firing up a 3 and a wild one. Rodman the rebound. The Heat are just firing away blindly right now. And you're right. They don't have enough offensive firepower when you eliminate Mourning and Hardaway. Miami is 4 for 20 from downtown. And if they had converted some of those, they might even be in front at this point.
Outside of Danilovic, everyone else is struggling from three-point range. Then when you miss the three-point shot, they have a tendency to sulk. And when they are sulking going back, what is happening, Chicago's pushing the ball, and they're finding free guys in the painted area. That did not happen in the first quarter.
Kurt Thomas, you saw, picked up his 5th foul. Danilovic has 4 fouls. We haven't seen him, and now he's coming back in. And Leonard is going to go out of the game. You know, it's interesting. Pat Riley told us about how Marshawn Leonard really is an offensive threat coming off the bench. But the fact is, and you just pointed it out, that Leonard was a really good defensive player in his active.
Yes, he did. He did a very good job. Look, one of the most frightening things in this league is to play Michael Jordan. Mainly because he can embarrass you so quickly, whether it's in the post-up or facing the basket or jump up over the top of you.
Kukoc with 11 after the free throws and an 11-point lead for the Chicago Bulls. Hardaway hits a 2. Tim Hardaway, like Dan Marley, have been ice cold from the field tonight. 8:05 to go. It's 87-78. 9-point lead for Chicago.
In spite of those two guys struggling, you're only 9 down, and you still have 7 minutes and 50-some-odd seconds.
That's 3 threes. They can only make a few of them. Jordan with 4 on the shot clock against Danilovic. Double team and throws up the air ball. Rodman is sandwiched. But look at the way Rodman went after the ball.
Oh, absolutely, Dick. I tell you, Dennis is working tonight. Dennis has done a terrific job. See, it's easy to take advantage of Dennis maybe for a quarter or a half. Unfortunately for you, now keep watching Dennis working in here. Dennis is working the entire time he's out there. For that full 48 minutes, he's played a small forward tonight, power forward, and he's played the center position.
Final piece in the puzzle to a championship year with Dennis Rodman last year. He has 17 rebounds tonight. Kukoc, offensive foul. He used the elbow, so Tony Kukoc picking up his second foul, and the Heat down by 9. Have plenty of time to come back.
Let me just tell you something. Watch this. This is a great block right there. Well, look at that. That was just outstanding. All right, by Mourning in that position. That was just a great block. But Dennis Rodman went over and said something to Thomas. All right, Pat Riley jumped off the bench because he's taunting him the entire night here.
That's fraternizing with the enemy. Hardaway missed. Mourning follow up.
Oh, yes!
And a foul. And Alonzo Mourning came to play tonight.
Oh, he sure did. And he's played big, not only shooting-wise. His board play has been outstanding. At halftime, he had 6 offensive rebounds. And here is this is just a great play in traffic. He just rips it away from Thomas, takes it up, gets hit by 2 guys, and puts it down.
28 points for Alonzo Mourning. Kukoc with his 3rd foul, and Mourning can cut the Bulls' lead to 6 with 7:24 remaining. The numbers on Alonzo Mourning are phenomenal tonight. And now you wonder if they have Juwan Howard. That's what Pat Riley
with the Juwan Howard.
I'm sorry.
Juwan Howard is now in Washington.
Is that where he is? Okay. Glad you told me. I keep waiting for Juwan Howard to surface.
I know, because that's all you read down here, right?
That's true. That's true.
It's a good point, Dick. It's a very good point. Unfortunately, the guy is not here. He's happy tonight because they defeated San Antonio by 10 at home.
Right. Mourning with his 3rd personal foul. And that'll send Scottie Pippen to the free throw line. Pippen, Miami is over the limit, and Pippen hits the free throw.
Well, just keep an eye on this. He just rips this ball away from Thomas, sends it up in traffic.
Did we talk about Juwan Howard yet? Pippen 1 out of 2 out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulls.
Scottie this year in 3 games shooting 56%. But it's the only weak spot in Scottie's game. He's a 67, 68% foul shooter for his career.
And that free throw was his first point of the second half. He has 15 in the game, so it's 88-81, 7-point lead. Hardaway behind Mourning hits a 2-pointer.
There you go.
Hardaway now with 13 points, and there are 3 players in double figures for the Heat. Mourning with the 29. Danilovic and Hardaway each with 13, and the lead is down to 5.
This is a clear out for Michael.
Mourning comes into the way, and they give it to Pippen, who fires a 3. And P.J. Brown the rebound, and this crowd back in the game.
Well, they get one now here. This will be interesting.
Kurt Thomas throws up an air ball, and here is Jordan in the semi-open floor against Danilovic and Hardaway. And he misses inside. Double team. Quick double team by Miami. Hardaway in a little bit of trouble. And the foul, offensive foul, and a good call against P.J. Brown. That was a good call, offensive foul, and that will be for P.J. Brown his 5th personal.
Right now, all the fringe players are expendable. Main thing right now is you had a big advantage that time. You had to convert in traffic.
Well, Hibby, Miami is making this a close game, down by only 5, but it should be pointed out that Michael Jordan is only 1 for 5 and 2 points here in this quarter, and you know sooner or later he's going to explode.
Well, you know, they're running 2 guys at him, and they're trapping him. And it's interesting because Michael has shot a couple of very difficult percentage shots here lately. And I also, looking at Miami at the other end of the floor, they're getting good opportunities, but they're trying to make the overplay, the sensational play. Just make the easy pass right now, because you will get good shots. Michael is struggling. So the key, go at him and go with high percentage basketball.
And with 40 points, he is struggling, but actually he is lately, and 1 for 5, and the Heat doing a good job defensively against him. Luke Longley and Steve Kerr both have checked into the game for the Bulls, and they join Jordan, Rodman, and Pippen.
See, the underlying fact of Michael's night, 28 shot attempts, 15 for 28, he's shooting a high percentage, but he does have 28 attempts.
P.J. Brown, Kurt Thomas, Alonzo Mourning, Sasha Danilovic, and Tim Hardaway are in there for the Miami Heat. Under 6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Got a good one going here. Jordan starts to go. He's now 2 for 6. When Michael gets cooking, watch out. He's got 42.
Well, that time there was no double team. Everything was late. No one guy's going to stop. He's just going to jump over.
Offensive foul against the Heat. And if it's on Danilovic, that will be his 6th, but it is on Mourning. So Mourning now with 4. So here's a foul story. Mourning has 4. Danilovic has 4. Brown 5 and Thomas 5. So that's the foul story as Kurt Thomas goes to the bench, replaced by Dan Marley.
Right now, the one thing you cannot do if you're Miami is allow Steve Kerr to get off an uncontested 3.
Hardaway trying to prevent that. Here's Longley, backs it. And Kerr in the lane hits. Big basket by Steve Kerr.
Dennis Rodman kept that ball alive.
And the lead is 9 now for the Bulls. The Heat had gotten it down to 5. But it's a 9-point game as we wind down to 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Remember, the Heat had an 11-point lead after 1. Jordan and Rodman. I think it was Jordan that got him first.
Yeah, Rodman fouled him hard, but he held him up before he crashed into the floor.
That was Danilovic and Rodman with his 4th personal foul.
Now this is a beautiful backdoor move. You see Danilovic moving, see? There's the pass. He gives a good pump fake. Rodman comes down strong.
Yeah. Jordan avoided the contact, but Rodman did not. Danilovic hits the free throw. Sasha Danilovic, as Hubie mentioned, missed 62 games with wrist surgery last year.
Yes, he did. 62. He was the starting 2 guard at the beginning of the season. Rex Chapman came in, substituted for him, and had a banner season. Rex this year playing at Phoenix as a free agent.
2 free throws for Danilovic. 92-85 in favor of the Bulls. Jordan pulls back against Danilovic. Rebound to Hardaway. It's a 3-on-2. That doesn't last for long. And as Hardaway brings the ball up, he is fouled by Steve Kerr on the push.
Now both teams are shooting the penalty from now to the end.
Right. So Hardaway goes to the free throw line.
You make these, you're right in business. You're only down 7. You make these 2, you're down 5. Anything can happen here right now.
Hardaway is 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He had 25 against the Indiana Pacers in the Heat's last game. Tonight, Hardaway has 14.
Well, in the first 2 games, Alonzo Mourning averaging 26 and Hardaway averaging 22. Unfortunately, Marley, who is averaging 14, has struggled, and so has Hardaway, and they need these people.
But it's a 5-point
They're right here.
game again with 4:40 remaining. Both teams in the penalty. This is the team that swept the Heat 3-0 in the first round of the playoffs. Great pass from Luke Longley to Michael Jordan. And you see the value of Longley. He doesn't have to be a big power center in this offense.
Well, you see, that's their guard around. But instead, what they did was they brought their post-up player, Michael Jordan, on the backdoor. That was beautiful to watch.
Low to Mourning, working against Longley. Nothing there. P.J. Brown hits the jumper after it bounced on the rim. 6 for the former New Jersey net. And again, it's a 5-point lead with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
They're starting out high, and then with the cuts, they get right into the triangle.
Last year, the Bulls started off with 5 straight wins before they suffered their first loss. Ended up with 72 wins for the year. Kerr misses a 3, but Pippen keeps it alive. Kerr again, he misses another 3-point attempt. This time, Marley to Hardaway. The Bulls get back defensively, so there'll be no easy baskets this time down for Miami. Under 3.5 to play in the fourth. Hardaway leaves Marley open for 3, and he continues to have a miserable night from the field. 0 for 8 from downtown for Dan Marley. Pippen turns around and hits a jumper, and that's a big sequence at both ends.
Yeah, and an excellent timeout by Pat Riley.
But Marley struggles. Pippen hits the jumper. It's 96-89 Bulls. We'll be right back.
Would like to show you the triangle offense and then a new wrinkle which Chicago has put in. Now, once this pass goes to Rodman, right now, they are like this, and then here is their post player. You're going to see Luke Longley come up, and usually they will run this guard around. But watch what happens. As Longley catches it, they run Michael Jordan right from that post, and it's a pass right down. That was a beautiful play and wonderfully executed because of the ability of Longley to make the pass.
Let's take a look at the timeout picture right now. The Bulls have 4 and the Heat 2 full timeouts, no 20s, and the Bulls will lose 1 under the 2-minute mark. So it'll be Miami's ball trailing 96-89. It'll be Hardaway inbounding, Danilovic and Hardaway at guard. Up front, Mourning, P.J. Brown, and Dan Marley. Harper, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and Longley for Chicago.
You have to play 2-man right here and get Mourning in the game. There's a back screen for Mourning, catching him on the roll.
3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Here's Mourning, good position, and he's fouled. Pippen with the foul. Scotty with his 3rd. And both teams in the penalty, and Mourning will go to the line.
You have to work through Mourning in order to get the double team, because they're not going to double team anyone else down inside. I like what we saw there, a nice back screen on Mourning to bring him to the ball, and it forced the Bulls to switch, and that's why that opened up.
Alonzo Mourning 7 for 10 from the free throw line. 30 points for Zoe with 18 rebounds and 4 block shots. He has played big tonight. Question is, will it be enough to put the Miami Heat over the top? They were up by 16 at one point. And then the Bulls were up by 16 or 15, I think. And Heat staging a late threat. 1 out of 2, so Mourning has missed 4 from the free throw line. They really count bad here.
Yeah, well, see, Miami does have an Achilles heel. They're only a 70-71% foul shooting team.
96-90 in favor of Chicago. Here is Jordan, guarded by Danilovic. Double team quickly. Jordan fires baseline, and Marley had the rebound, banged into by P.J. Brown. Unfortunate for the Heat, and the basket by Michael Jordan gives him 46. That should have been a Miami rebound.
Absolutely.
And a foul, no basket if it goes, and a pushing foul.
They take the heart right out of you. Right there, you just saw bad basketball. You have to take care of your defensive board. There's the first, second shot, and here comes Jordan. Knocks that one right off the glass.
First foul on Luke Longley, and Mourning, who has missed 4 free throws tonight. On the line for 2 with his team trailing by 8. Washington beats. Who did Washington beat? San Antonio.
Big win by Detroit.
2:23 remaining. Mourning hits 1 free throw, and it's 98-91. 2:19 and running. 7-point lead for the Chicago Bulls, trying to make it 4-0 in this young season.
Right now, all they're doing is they're running time, maximizing the clock.
7 on the shot clock. Jordan finds an opening in the lane and draws the foul. With 2:03 remaining in the fourth quarter, you can look at the face of Michael Jordan to know that he feels confident the Bulls are headed for another W. P.J. Brown with his 6th personal foul, has fouled out, having scored 6 tonight.
Now Detroit had another impressive win this evening. If Chicago should win this game, TNT has the clash on Friday night.
Yes, they do.
Chicago at Detroit, both teams undefeated.
And of course, you're going to Japan, and you'll be that's going to be an easy trip for you. I mean, you leave at 5:55 tomorrow morning. You get into Tokyo at 5 o'clock Friday afternoon. You do a game. You spend what, about 20 hours in Tokyo? This is Hubie Brown's itinerary, fans, and this is where he's going. He departs in the morning in Miami. Please don't go to the airport to see him off. He'll do the game. That'll be on TNT between Orlando and New Jersey. Then he's going to leave at 6:30 Tokyo time, come back to Atlanta at 10 o'clock. And Hubie, you better be fresh for our Tuesday broadcast in Houston when the Lakers go against the Rockets. That's all I got to say.
When I brought this up to someone, they said, well, that's all right. You have Sunday to relax.
Right. And you do. Just, you know, I'm going to be on your game Tuesday night. That's all I'm saying to you.
Oh, man.
Good luck on that trip.
We love the game.
Thanks for not inviting me. Jordan with 48 points. And under 2 minutes to go. It's 100 to 91, a 9-point game in favor of the Chicago Bulls. They got a test tonight. Make no mistake about it. And Pippen with the steal. Great defensive play. And we go back to the top, Hubie, when they said they are what they are because of their defense, and Pippen leads the parade. 100 to 91. Harper open for 3. He'll take it. Rodman, who has 20 rebounds.
Oh, watch out.
Very nearly got into it with Mourning.
Yeah, Mourning caught him right in the face.
Hardaway off the glass, and Kukoc will have it, and he'll take his time with 118, and Rodman got hit in the face.
Yeah, he did.
And he's having trouble seeing. And he says, let's continue to play. 8 on the shot clock. Pippen with a long 3, and there's Rodman, who can't see, now with his 22nd rebound. Not bad for a guy who lost vision for the moment.
Well, you can see he was definitely stunned. There's no doubt about it. He was running right by us, right in front of us. You can see he was staggered. Right here, he gets hit by his own man, but he was hit at the other end of the floor first. With Mourning in a collision, gets popped right here by his own man. And then, you hate to say it about this guy, but how about the fact he's jogging along, the shot goes up, all of a sudden he sprints to the ball, gets the
rebound with two guys.
That's right, and then gets fouled.
You know, couldn't be a decoy because he's having trouble getting his vision now. I knew something was wrong. He missed the free throw.
That's part of his game. Missing free throws is part of his game. Here he is now. Just watch. Pippen launches a long shot as the clock is going down, and then he just pushes Hardaway right out of there and gets on the offensive board.
Rodman only 2 points, misses both free throws, but he has 9 offensive rebounds and 13 off the defensive glass. That's what they pay him for. Hardaway, basket is good, and Hardaway is fouled and will go to the line. It is a 7-point game, could be 6 with 49.6. Don't turn it off yet.
Well, we've all been around this league. I mean, you know, a 6-point lead with 12 seconds to go, you're not safe. You say, oh, well, what did we just have right before the half? Before the half, with 6 seconds on the clock, they make a 3, a bad pass inbounds. You make another 3, boom, 6-0.
So it can happen. Tony Kukoc with his 4th personal foul, and here is Tim Hardaway, who has been perfect 4 for 4 from the line tonight.
Now you just need to button up. You must make it happen defensively.
Hardaway makes both free throws. 6-point game. That's 2 threes. So this is the biggest possession now.
Just don't foul.
And that's going to be a backcourt violation. And the Heat has it with 38.5. The Miami Heat has 2 possessions, down by 6. And Rodman, who went out briefly, will be coming in. And a timeout has been called by the Miami Heat. So the Heat putting the heat on the Chicago Bulls. We'll be right back. Let's bounce back in NBA history to March 28th, 1995. Pat Riley's New York Knicks host the Chicago Bulls. And Michael Jordan fresh back from his retirement. Michael rocked the Garden for 55 points as the Bulls stopped the Knicks 113 to 111. And the fabulous Jordan has 48 right now. Now, Hubie, after the timeout by Miami, they have one left. They're down by 6.
Two philosophies. You go for the quick score. You get the ball and try to score within 4 or 5 seconds, even if it's a 2. You do not need a 3 here. You shoot and miss a 3 and then foul. All of a sudden, you're down 7 or 8. The big thing is to score quickly.
And get the possession again.
That's right.
They go to
there
Mourning.
it is.
That's the idea. Mourning with a jump hook.
Now 32 seconds, plenty of time.
Oh,
no.
They let Harper release, and Ron Harper's fouled the basket as well. And so the Bulls sent Harper releasing, beat the Heat down court, and a huge basket and a foul. Good ice this game. It's 102 to 96, and Harper will go to the line.
As soon as you score, you go to the full court press. The main rule is no one goes long. You cannot get beat long. You never front people, because when you front people, they just release, and that's exactly what happened there. They fronted Harper, and he took off.
Milovic with his 5th foul, and Harper misses the free throw. Mourning has it. So it's a 6-point lead, and the Miami Heat have used their last timeout. 102 to 96, and they still have a chance to get 3 or 2 and the possession again.
Yeah, now just keep an eye on this. There he is. As Harper is just running right down the floor. Danilovic nowhere near him. They go for the foul. Now, right now, once again, key strategy. Get the quick score, put on the press, and let's see what happens.
The Bulls lead the Heat 102 to 96 with 29.2 as Miami uses its last timeout. Want to remind you, coming up, the postgame show, the NBA on TBS continues. So with the score 102-96, 6-point deficit, it isn't an automatic 3-point attempt in this
Absolutely.
Soldier.
You're right, Dick. If the 3-point is wide open, you take it. If not, you get the quick score again. You put on your full court press. You force them to call a timeout or foul one of the poor foul shooters. Clock management is the key right now. You can't waste time.
Can't believe so many fans have left here. This game's gone down to the wire. I'm stunned. And Marley fires up a 2 and hits. 2-point basket by Dan Marley. It's 102 to 98. And Jordan is fouled by Tim Hardaway. And of course, ideally, you don't want to foul a good free throw shooter, but you may not have the choice.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Tell you, Marley's been ice cold, but this was a big one for Pat Riley.
Now you can see right here, it's a fumble. As he steps in, you can see he definitely stepped on the line. It was a 2-point shot. The Bulls, very intelligently, took the ball out of bounds and get it to Jordan,
who was 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Is there any doubt? 49 points for Michael Jordan. He's going for 50 right here. He has enjoyed himself tonight after the home win, as you pointed out, against Vancouver last night. Getting in late, getting off to a slow start. They found their form in the second quarter. Michael Jordan with 50 points tonight, and it's 104 to 98. Miami is out of timeouts, and they may have to go to the threes now. Marley. And it's Danilovic blocked, missing a 3 blocked, and Vashawn Leonard, who's just checked in, gets a basket. 7.3 seconds to go. It's 104-100, and they foul Steve Kerr. And Danilovic with the personal foul, and he's gone. So Sasha Danilovic becomes the second member of the Miami Heat to foul out. P.J. Brown was the first. He goes out having scored 15.
Now, Phil Jackson also made a very nice move here right now. You put in your good foul shooters. He has Kerr in the game. Steve Kerr last year shot 50% from the field, 50% in threes, and 90% on the foul line. I would say he had a fairly decent year.
I would say that's why Steve Kerr is such a valuable guy, and what it is for Steve Kerr to be part of the Chicago team with an element that they need.
Well, you know,
a role player.
Well, it's interesting. He was cut from Orlando. He was cut from Cleveland. He couldn't find a place. All of a sudden, they bring him in, and he's the perfect guy. He replaced B.J. Armstrong, running to the corners, looking for the threes, and he's a hard worker, and he has really perfected his trade.
6.7 seconds remain. It's 105 to 100. The Bulls will win their 4th in a row. And it's 106 to 100. And Jordan very nearly steals it from Deshaun Leonard, who fires it up off the glass. Rebound Longley, and that's all she wrote. The Chicago Bulls have outlasted the Miami Heat to win by a score of 106 to 100. And our bud player of the game is Michael Jordan, who scored 50 points. And the Bulls have won again and go 4-0 on the season. The Miami Heat, losing for the first time this year, dropped their record to 2-1. And right now, let's go over to Dick Versace.
I'm here with Scottie Pippen. Scottie, another yeoman's all-around performance by you. Michael tossed in a measly 50. Did you guys go out late like you did last year?
No, we didn't. You know, we came in here tonight, you know, realizing that this is going to be an important game for that ball club to try to test themselves and see where they're at this point of the season. It was a great challenge for us because I think the competition level that we've been facing thus far haven't been as tough. So it was a great game tonight.
It seems that you got a new rivalry here. This team really wants a piece of you.
Well, they do. I mean, we're the monsters of the East right now. So, I mean, they're going to have to get over us to feel like they've gotten to that next level. And it was a great performance on their part, but they still got a lot of work ahead of them.
All right, Scottie, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, back to you, Dick and Hubie.
All right, let me figure this out. 72 minus 4 is 68. So you know you're on line for 72 wins. Can you break the record? Only kidding.
No, we're just going to take
Hard
it game
game
by
tonight.
game.
Huh? Hard game.
It was. I mean, they played well. You know, we came in, you know, just like the other two games. We take a quarter or half to get used to a team, and once we figure out, you know, their niches, I think we can apply our defense and, you know, more or less take their best punches and come back at them.
Michael, you were on fire. You look quick tonight. The elevation was there. But as soon as Hardaway went to guard you during that period, you guys posted him up 5 straight times.
Yeah, I got the height advantage. I knew he was looking to guard me as a challenge today, and I just kind of took my time, and when I had him in the post, I just used my moves and used his anticipation to my advantage, and you know, we went right at him.
Now, coming over here, I saw you're holding your thumb here. Did you get hurt?
Yeah, I got hit on the thumb. I got the gamekeeper thumb, which is a bruise, and every now and then it just comes back to bother me during the course of the season, but it's nothing really.
Michael, you seem to enjoy yourself tonight. I mean, you had a smile on your face. You had a couple of words for Pat Riley. What'd you tell Pat, by the way, when you hit that jumper falling off the court?
He called me a little rat for making that jumper, and I just had to smile at him. I mean, you know, he's such a competitor, and you know, I'm just as competitor as he is. So, you know, when we have a chance to beat his teams, I mean, that's a big challenge for us.
You said this year this team can still get better. Where can the Bulls get better?
I think consistently. I think we hadn't played a perfect season, I guess, and I guess that's the motivation that we have at this stage. That drives us to be better as a team. I don't think we should get complacent with what we did last year. I think everyone's looking at us to get tired out and maybe you know, maybe an injury here and there, and we're old, whatever. But that's the challenge, is to prove everybody wrong.
Michael, between you and your personal trainer, you're dropping 5 to 8 pounds. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Last year, I played at 217, 218, and I had a lot of knee problems, tendinitis. And this year, I tried to get down to 209, maintain the same strength, but yet take some of that pressure off my knee. And I haven't had any problems with it. And as you can see, my quickness is back a little bit. And
absolutely.
Certainly, I got the lift in my legs that I hadn't really been having in the last 15 months. So I feel good. I just hopefully we can maintain the same program.
Isn't it great how you can come back after winning a 4th title? We see what happens with Dallas and other sports, and still get focused when the time comes to get focused at camp.
I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, you're at the tail end of your career to a certain extent, and you better enjoy these last few moments of stardom or of success and whatever. And I think that drives me more so than anything. I'm trying to get Frank Hamlin a ring. I told him he's the only one on the team that hadn't got a ring, and I feel dedicated to help get him a ring.
Michael, thanks for coming over.
Sure.
I know it isn't easy. Great to have you with us. Michael Jordan. He's worth the price of admission, and those 2 3-point baskets were worth the price of admission for the Miami team. So a big doubleheader will come your way this Friday with the NBA on TNT. Game 1, the Chicago Bulls take on the Detroit Pistons at 8 Eastern. Game 2, the Nets and Magic in Japan. Hubie Brown will be there. Inside the NBA wraps up the night. And don't forget, next Wednesday on TNT at 8, celebrate the 50th anniversary of the NBA with the world premiere of the NBA at 50. Coming up next, the post-game show with Vince Cellini and Cheryl Miller. Michael Jordan, 50 points tonight as the Bulls beat the Heat 106-100. So for Hubie Brown and Dick Versace, I'm Dick Stockton. Good night from Miami.